Hey, yo, what's good, man? It's your host, Cleve. Welcome to the Third Coast Podcast with my man,
Joe. What it do, Gators?
What it do, man? It's your host, Cleve. Third Coast Podcast.
Joe, what it do, Gators? Joe, what it do, Gators?
Yo, welcome back, everybody, to Third Coast Podcast with your main host, Cleve. And I got my main host over to my left, Joe, a.k.a. Gator. What it do, man?
What it do, Gators? Sitting here with the one, the only, Chuck.
Hey everybody.
See, I think you sound like a little bit better. That might sound better.
Hey everybody.
Yeah, that's much better right there. Now I can hear you in the back
Better?
seats,
I'm
man.
sorry. I can't control the volume of my voice sometimes.
I understand that, you know, if I raise my voice, it sounds like I'm yelling at someone. So,
That nobody has ever thought that about you, bro. You have such a sensual, nice voice.
nah, not everyone thinks that it's so sensual.
Who?
My coworkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
granted, it's a loud environment. You
Yeah.
know, it's
You like in a warehouse. It's like loud noises. Like,
yeah. So I can't
So you
talk
have
so
to,
low
like,
and sensual. It's like,
can you hand me the wrench? It's like, you don't have to yell at me.
It's like, well, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I'll just make sure you can hear me. It's like, all right, 10-4.
Well,
He's
that,
like, Jesus, Cleve really is yelling at me, and I couldn't understand why he's yelling at me. He's like, you're yelling at me, too.
and that's one thing I've never understood since I've been a part of the plant life, how people will walk up to you and you have earplugs in and there's loud machinery all around you and they want to hold a full conversation with you. Full conversation. You're like, you
Yeah.
only get bits and pieces of it. And you're like, yeah, man, that's cool. Or yeah, that's dope, lady, you know, whatever. And you're like, I caught maybe 5% of that whole conversation.
The same thing happens at shows. It's like the amount of people that are listening to music and having conversations with the person next to them is shocking. You know, that percentage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's more than half for sure. Like you could go to any show and like in between, like, well, you'll have the bands playing and then in between breaks, like the conversations kind of gradually gets louder until like the beginning of the show. It's like the first 15 seconds, everything is silent, and then you'll hear that one person starting a conversation and then it excels to the next.
It really just depends on what kind of music you're listening to, I guess. Like, you can go and see these singer-songwriters that are captivating the audience. But then there's, like...
I say you can go to metal shows and it's a whole chaos.
Yeah, there's no time to talk.
Yeah, I don't see too many people talking at metal shows unless it's like, man, yo, that riff, and then that's it. It's like the rest of it is rocking out to the shows.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
I don't know, like going to all the different venues that I've been through in my life and being like very diverse in my music. I've seen some, you know, pretty interesting shows where some shows you go to and everybody just vibing out and chilling, maybe got some lawn chairs propped up, or go to certain venues where it's like Norma Jean in like a dive bar and you're just up there with 100 other people right up next to them, just moshing and pushing each other and stuff, and it's always fun.
Yeah.
And I encourage everybody to get out there. If you're a metalhead, go to a hip hop concert or go to a reggae show, or just always open your I can't say it. Portfolio of music and get immersed.
Pink Falopio.
Yeah, I butchered that.
Or a
That was
plethora
good.
of music.
Speaking of that,
like a wide array.
Guess who?
Opokilapilo.
Guess who I saw in the store the other day? Y'all might like this. Miss Reed, of all people. I know the listeners out there might not know Miss Reed, and the YouTube viewers might not know Miss Reed. But Miss Reed was an English teacher that we all had, or I would think everybody had at the table.
Mostly, yeah.
And,
I had. Well, I didn't have Miss Reed. I had Miss Quirk.
And, as like any high school teacher has to deal with adolescent kids, they might say stuff that they don't mean or whatever, but, some harsh words were exchanged between her and myself as a teenager and as an adolescent.
Really?
And
Wow.
I just
didn't
look
know
back.
about this. Tell me what happened.
She told me I was lazy and I wouldn't amount to shit
Oh. Why did she say that?
because I dropped out of advanced English because I said it was too much work and went back to regular
wait,
English.
slow down. You went to her. All right, so play it out. Like you.
I took advanced English 4 my senior year, and it was hard, and I was lazy because I was, going to work and stuff. So I was like, I don't want to do all this work, and I was ended up failing.
You worked where?
Kashada at the
Kashada.
casino. I was a cook in the Terrace Cafe when I was working in high school.
What, in high school? You were a senior and you worked at Kashada
Yeah,
Casino.
yeah.
All right.
Resort.
And,
I heard it's one.
and
best.
so-
No, I'm playing. It's a joke.
Wait, so I'm running it back. You were a senior in high school.
Yes.
And you were taking advanced English.
Yes, advanced English 4.
Advanced English 4. But you were also working at the time at the
Yeah.
casino. So you went to her. You went to her class. You had to tell her, like, all right, I'm not going to be able to take this class, so I'm going to go talk to her. So, all right, scene, you're walking into her office, her classroom. I'm Miss Reed. You ready?
All right.
All
Hey,
Wait,
Miss-
you knock on the door.
oh, hold up. I wish I had a knocking sound.
No, you gotta just hit the table.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
Come
pretty-
in.
Miss
Hello,
Reed, you
is
got-
somebody here?
Yeah, Miss Reed, can I come in?
Yes, please. You knocked on my door very loudly.
Yes, I'm dropping out of English, advanced English 4, and I'm
Why?
gonna take your
Okay.
regular English 4 class.
Regular. All
Yeah.
right, Joe. Do you think you're a regular human being? Is that what you're telling me? Because
You do
Just the
sound
way-
like her. Do you
you think you are a regular human being? You don't think you're an advanced human being? Do you think you can just because you have a job, you think that advanced English is something for you? Not for you.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Not for you. Okay.
And I find the work to be extremely harder for no reason, and because I could take the regular test and sleep and pass all the tests. And
Yeah.
she's like, "But you're not." And she would go,
Wait.
"You're not
No,
pushing yourself."
you're doing my part.
Yeah.
But I think you're just not pushing yourself to be an advanced student when I know that you are an advanced student, Joe.
And then I was like, "Well, I'm going to the Army anyway, so I don't know how much English I'm gonna need out there." And then that's when,
Oh yeah.
Well, Joe, English is one of the main languages in the world, and it's really not. So you're actually right. So best of luck to you, and
see you in regular English.
it's actually very advanced of you. So I'm new, Miss Reed. Sorry.
To be completely fair, is the real underlining reason behind that is so when you took advanced English 4, you had to write out all the words, and you had to do you had to do way more work. But I had friends in regular English 4, and then they were showing me the work they were doing. They got multiple choice, it was a lot easier,
Yeah,
and
it's
it was,
the easy way out.
and
You
I
know,
was like,
busy schedule.
I might as well just jump down, and I guess it was like a slap in the face because I could do it, I just didn't want to do it, and that's when she hit me with that. But I saw her in Walmart, and I was like, gave her the smile, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Ain't in jail at least.
Yeah, no. In actuality, that is exactly what she's supposed to do as a teacher. She's supposed to push us to be better than what we even think we are. So she did her job. She was a great teacher. Shout out, Miss Reed.
Oh, that's a little loud.
I had a good time playing Miss Reed though. I appreciate it. I
didn't
think
have
I did. I
Miss
think I did a
Reed.
good Miss Reed.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job. What, y'all don't have no No stories about high school. Oh, speaking of Oakdale High School does have their centennial coming up, which is 100 years of being a actual high school.
Oh yeah, because it was built in 1923.
Now, how do you? Oh well, yeah, I
It's
should
on the
have.
front of the school.
I
Yeah,
was-
that's how.
I was about to say, how did you do the math? And I was like, Joe, it just hit me like a little hammer. 100 years,
It's
dumbass.
like, bro, it's like it's 2023. It's like, yeah, they definitely gonna do that in August. Well, it is August, right?
The kids go back to school next week.
Hmm.
So yeah, that'll be the big one, hundo.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna participate in the alumni band. So I don't know if they're gonna like donate me a trombone or if I have to find one, but
So,
I can still lay down some licks to it though.
So it's my dad's. It's my dad's reunion this year.
Oh, really?
And I was like, 100 years, Bill. That's a long time. He didn't like that joke too much. But yeah.
Maybe what, their 40th maybe?
Yeah, probably something like that. I think 50.
Yeah, congrats to them. Cause
I tried to get him to pull up, but he maybe next week.
Yeah.
I live in Oakdale now, so I'm hanging out with you guys for a minute.
Congratulations. Welcome
Yeah,
back.
man. Yeah.
yeah, surprisingly, yeah. But welcome back. You know, it's ain't shit changed. You know. Yeah,
Dude,
it's
I
still
never
the
left,
same.
bro. It's a school, bro.
Even when you leave from here, it's not like you're ever really gone. You're just taking like a vacation, if you would. Like you might have a staycation for a few years.
as
like
long
a
as you
little-
visit.
As long as you visit.
As
like,
long
I've
as you
lived in-
visit and you stay in contact with the cool people that live in Oakdale, because there's some cool people that live in Oakdale.
Right, like I've lived in 3 states prior to, actually like 3 states plus like living here, just like, going here, Texas, here, Colorado, and then like a little short stay like in Mississippi. It's just like, and just being here in general and always coming back. And, it's tough living here. It's like even looking at the statistics, like if you look up stuff on Google, but fuck Google for a second, like just really focus in on like the people that actually live here and have to go through some of these things that most people in the other parts of the U.S. couldn't even imagine, such as humidity. Like when people feel like it's 90 degrees, they thinking, oh, well, it's just sunny out. Like, the sun is like this because like in the mountain region, the 90 degrees feels pretty pleasant.
Yeah.
Versus in the south where you have humidity and moisture's coming from the ground and moisture's in the air and moisture's coming from the clouds, and you got about 80% of this stuff every other fucking day, if not every day. Then it just creates like basically like if you don't know what humidity is, it adds to the temperature. What is 80 feels like it would be 90 degrees or 100 degrees depending on how high the humidity is. And just staying hydrated. And for those of us who drink beer, cheers. Definitely stay hydrated in this fucking heat because El Nino has not left us for one bit. If anything, this year and next should be the hottest years ever to be recorded.
Yeah.
Allegedly. It's what
Allegedly.
what the scientists predict.
All fun times. But you know what's crazy though? Y'all were talking about like how we got a lot of cool things about Oakdale. We do have some cool things in the work for donation for toy boxes, and we got 2 businesses lined up, and hopefully we can get some more while we can get these kiddos some toys. And I know it's festival season, but you got to think a little bit in the future and think about giving a little bit. And us at Third Coast is going to produce content and be in the giving spirit and have a whole bunch of local content from Oakdale, from local business owners. And very excited about that. And it's going to be a fun time. Hopefully we can go into their shops and businesses and do the show there. So it promotes them there. And they probably got nice air-conditioned buildings too. So that's another plus too right now. That's
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us record up in the hardwood. It's nice, and
Oh yeah, most definitely.
the shed
man.
was hot
Yeah, the
last
shed was,
couple weeks.
Yeah, man. Well, bro. Well, that's cool. So we got businesses that are attaching themselves to the toy drive this year
Yeah,
in Oakdale. That's never happened before. It's really cool to attach like what we're doing because it's always been, you know, like what we've created out of New Orleans and what we created on the road as just being in a band or it's always been the goal to reach back to Oakdale and the people in Oakdale, and
Where does most of the donations go when people are participating in it?
well,
Like with the toy drive.
that's up for us to decide. In recent past, it goes to the name is shit. It's going
I
past me.
forget.
It's out of it's a toy drive that goes into Houston. But I'll look it up. I'll look it up right now. I wasn't prepared for this.
No, it's fine. No, but the for like the cleanup itself is the Krampus cleanup. We clean up in town and stuff, pick up trash. But the toy drive is something they have done for a couple years, but now it's highlighted through the Krampus cleanup, and most of the donations are going, like the toy donations and the drive, all the different toys and stuff are going in the inner city of Houston to help needy children and stuff. Because around here, there's a lot of already local drives, and you got, the Salvation Army, you got, is it the Red Cross and the Marines that do the toy drive? Because they do it right here in Allen Parish.
I believe so. Like they have like the bins, whatever, where you can just drop the stuff.
See,
off.
that's the same principle we're bringing for the show when we go interview. So we're going to set up a bin at these local businesses in Oakdale so people can drop off the toys and they directly go to the
families in need.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Sky High for kids. Sorry that I didn't.
No, it's okay. I mean, we have to go through it all the time, like where we have to regain reference to information. Like, you can't keep it all up there. I mean,
it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Trying to keep in my my breakfast from this morning, man. Just trying to, hide from my own things.
So now this will be on the video. Yeah, so all the sound pad and stuff will be on the YouTube, and especially on, the upcoming videos and stuff.
Yeah, you can have your own sound pad at home.
Yeah, you can remix videos and everything. And Chuck, you had brought it up earlier off air, but what was your first reaction to some of the recent videos you saw of Third Coast Podcast?
Yeah, bro, I saw the video of you almost cutting your hand off with a machete. Like, usually it's a very tame videos from you, but then you're like, oh, I'm going to open this can of beer with a machete.
It's like...
I'm like, Joe, no. Oh, no. And I think I feel the same that everybody in the rest of the Third Coast world was very nervous for
our beloved Gator about to lose a limb in the name of social media.
Hey, it's all for the show, man. I'm willing to do anything. Well, let me backtrack. Not anything, but I'm willing to do a lot for the show. And ideally, that didn't go the way I planned it in my head. And we have talked about it before, but that ideally did not go like I wanted it to. And I just improvised. And like the first one, I moved my hand. That was just my natural reaction. Like, what are you doing? The second time, I was like, don't move, hand. Either it's going to work or it's not. And then
you went for it.
I went for it. And then I stone cold Steve Austin did. I didn't know what else to do because I didn't put it near my mouth. I ain't that retarded,
Yeah, because it's
not
like
that
a rigid.
crazy. I just
Untethered. Razor edge of the.
I don't know what else
Nah,
to do.
He's not that crazy.
I gotta be more
fun.
creative with less sharp weapons involved.
It was definitely like it was shocking, but even for me to watch, I was like, "Wait a minute, what's Joe's?" It's like, okay, so I was like, "All right, he got the machete." Like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. It's like, okay, he knows what he's doing. Next thing you know, I just see you hacking away at the can. I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "This shit is fucking barbaric."
I think that's where we're at, bro. I think you need to do more things like that.
Maybe that's why like the dude jumps on like barbed
Well, that's
wire.
why
I mean it's the whole the Jackass
I'm not
theory.
knocking
'Cause
it at
that's
all.
why
Like, if
Jackass made
anything-
a whole bunch of money off doing ridiculous shit. It's because people want to see that. They want to see someone do something crazy.
Hey, you 100% own that shit. Like, at the end of it, I was like, man, fuck yeah. I was like, man, Joe definitely owned the shit. I was like, he didn't cut his hand off.
No, he
and he
killed
fucking barbarian, like, Nord style, drinking that shit, like, letting it run all down. Viking style. It's more where I was going
Gator.
with it.
Yeah, appreciate that. It's nice when I can not only entertain the fans, but entertain the people that are closest to me. That just brings me such a different joy.
Sky high for kids. Jesus.
Do you ever recall, yeah, Gator, I got a question for you. Do you ever recall any other videos on YouTube that are not connected to Third Coast Podcast?
I mean, we do have Oakdale Weekend out there. That's you can check out. That's just Oakdale Weekend. And I think that's when Kobai actually had hair.
Bro,
Yep. He had long, voluptuous red hair at the time.
I put my foot in the ants. I don't know if y'all saw that video, but I just made another one today that was fire, bro, with Jesse Jones, my cousin Jesse. So Barrio Stage is there's a lot of metal beams that are holding Barrio Stage together, but we're slowly but surely taking away beams, via grinders and torches and saw blades. But taking the poles out is like slowly kind of taking out the
Concrete?
No, it's taking out the structural integrity of the whole building itself. But if you take out the right ones, it's okay, and you can still have a good visual setup of the stage itself. So
how'd that lead to you sticking your foot in ants for the second time?
Today we had a video. We did a video of my boy Josh Townley. He was playing accordion.
Is this available to be streamed?
And I was, I don't know. And I was playing a triangle. And Jesse was playing the grinder. This is it.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Or,
no, what? That wasn't it. No, that's Bill. But yeah, it's one of those.
So hold up, did you stick your foot in ants,
Yeah.
like in an ant bed, and you recorded it?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that. Did
Really?
you
What's
like
it
post
on?
that
Like,
song
did you
on
post it?
something?
Something
Yeah.
weird?
I was.
Is it like an Instagram thing? I know, like, by the way, big kudos to a lot of y'all's Instagram out there that I see, especially like Chuck and them's. Like, how do y'all get them numbers? I have no idea. Instagram's a hard monster. You gotta take the right pictures, I guess.
We got a lot of friends, bro. Just
collectively. Yeah, collectively in a group. Tell this person, tell this person.
yeah, bro. Just have cool content, and people
How many videos did you make today, Chuck?
have cool friends.
I'm starting to believe this
You didn't
foot
see
in the ant
ants.
video don't even exist now.
It's on. We were. It was for promotion for Week Splitter. Iceman promoting.
I seen the
Whisper.
one for
This one.
Charlie with the Iceman special. You know, we got a new album coming out, Zycordia. Next single, Wig Splitter, Friday, June 16th. You know, wig splitting reminds me of being in nature. You know, kicking my feet off, putting my toes in the grass. What's up, everybody? It's Charlie.
Yeah.
How did it feel after?
I seen that first jerk too. Didn't look like it felt too good. Looked like a little nature biting back.
Yeah, bro.
Like, why you putting your big ass feet in my ant pile?
You
You're
we gotta
disturbing
rebuild-
nature
yeah,
and
you
shit.
we gotta rebuild this shit, buddy. You gotta pay for that.
You know the ants are the strongest creature on the face of this earth.
Yeah.
I
And-
definitely believe it.
And so when one ant bites, they all bite at the same time. So they thought it was like they crawled up my foot, one bit, and then they all just like.
So
Yeah,
I wonder
they-
if they like when they're like, "All right, go, 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 go," and they're
Yeah.
all like hundreds of them climbing up Chuck's foot, and they're like, "Go in 3, 2, 1, out."
Yep, attack. Yeah, just
like
not even no,
synchronized. Like
yeah, it ain't even no count. They just radiate. Like ants are like probably like we were talking about animals before we excerpt the clip earlier, but pretty much yeah, ants like I imagine like if you think of every animal in the world, right? If every animal in the world were the size of a human, including flies, like this includes insects, this includes like creatures of the ocean, creatures of like
just
you know,
all
earth bedding, all creatures in general, all walks of life. And if these creatures were the size of a human, which would be the dominant species? If there were, you know, because you got to think mosquitoes the size of humans, or what's the other one?
Well, the government made mosquitoes, so
And birds.
Yeah, birds the size of humans. I mean, alligators are bigger, sharks are bigger.
wouldn't
squids are
technically
bigger, whales
a
are bigger.
pterodactyl back in the day be considered like a bird?
But I mean, I'm talking
human.
smaller insects, like you know, a praying mantis, like a 200-pound praying mantis, or
Bro,
I don't know. It's just the competition will be pretty high, and the
Oh,
dynamic will
yeah.
be different for sure.
pterodactyls, though, bro. Was that a thing?
What?
Were pterodactyls like.
Allegedly, I seen now they're coming out to say during the Jurassic period there was a type of alligator that was the most dominant creature on the face of this earth. They say it was even more apex predator than a T-Rex because of how big its mouth was, how fast it was, and how its large size.
You
So-
gotta think too, like the dynamic of like the Jurassic age, and just you know, there were creatures with long necks, some with long arms, some had strong legs, some had strong swimming abilities, and it's like depending on the region, like whatever part of the world, like say if we're here, mostly it was just like, I think if I'm recalling correctly, quote me if I'm wrong, don't quote me if I'm wrong, but just like during the age, I think in North America, there was mostly like long necks. There were mostly like shorter creatures like the Triceratops, like the Razorback. I think it's a Stegosaurus. Yeah, it's like the it has the scales for fins on its back, but it was like a lowland creature. I don't know. It's just like you had different lizards, different canine, like different big cats, different canines, different elephants, mammoths, and all of these things. It's just, I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons out there.
Yeah,
know?
but what about a chicken, bro? Those things.
Oh, just the chicken?
A chicken itself is still a. It's all right.
It's
you
still
got
prey.
alligators, you got gators, and you got chickens.
Maybe chickens
chicken.
could fly.
But chicken, if you think, all right, bro, a 10-foot chicken, that's destroying everybody. It's taking out an alligator. 10-foot chicken.
A 10-foot chicken.
A 10-foot chicken is eating all of
A
us.
10-foot
Y'all ever seen a
versus
chicken eat?
20-foot
They
or
eat
30-foot
mice.
alligator. I think that chicken is still prey.
Chickens eat mice. They'll eat a small cat if they really want to.
Well,
bro.
to be fair, you think a 10-foot chicken,
A
and
10-foot
like
chicken.
100 of them, like, because they will eat grass up and keep it dead for months. Like if you have like chickens in a pen, they will eat everything.
They pick it.
Could you imagine the beak?
No, imagine 10-foot chickens.
10-foot chicken. That'd be like
No.
the size of like 10
They would
foot.
destroy. That's dinosaurs.
That's about as big as the camera.
10
No,
Ten-
no,
ten-
no. You can't. I mean,
10-foot chickens is dinosaurs.
I mean, to be if you want to be completely honest, I could actually see you tying a T-Rex and a chicken into the same bloodline.
Yeah.
You could just put it a little bit more muscular. Put it mixed with some
More
lizard.
muscular, less feathers, more lizard-like,
Yeah, with teeth.
and bigger head. Yeah, with a bigger head and
Just
teeth,
teeth.
because it's got short arms, and
That's what I'm
chickens
saying,
to
bro.
us are flightless birds.
You get in a basketball court in a gym with 10-foot chickens. you dead, bro.
10-foot chickens.
10-foot chickens.
10-foot chickens. I like that.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, that's why I like that.
Who was that?
Huh? No, that's the old laughter of the hardwood. When
Oh,
people used to
damn.
come in here and have dinner and sit down and have, nice family memories.
Oh, damn.
But I do have a question since, the heat's on the rise and everybody's, global warming this. I don't believe in global warming, blah, 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 blah.
Oh no, you got some believers nowadays. But go ahead with your question. Sorry.
My question for the collective at the table is, since everybody's in doom and gloom apocalyptic, what is your favorite apocalyptic movie? Like, if y'all do have one.
I
And I
absolutely
Got
have
a
one.
few.
Who would like to go first?
28 days later,
Oh, Zombie.
for sure.
And that's the one where
28 days or weeks?
Both. Well, one comes after the other.
Yeah, like days was first and then weeks was second.
Yeah.
That's-
But that is like the best zombie
Hold up,
movie ever.
that's the one where you get instantaneous. If you get one drop in you, or it's
Yeah,
like
that's
it
what
Yeah,
bites
if you got a cut.
No, he wakes up in the hospital, like out of a coma. There's nobody there.
28
and, like,
days got the world's greatest dad.
Yeah. Or
I say that because
I'm a zombie guy though. I like zombie movies. I like Dawn of the Dead. That was a
yeah.
classic.
like I'm saying world's greatest dad sarcastically about 28 days later, just to clear that up for the YouTube. But that's actually one of my personal favorites as well, because like in the movie in the beginning, they're like in this farmhouse, and then like the wave, like or the horde, the wave, they're all coming into the house, and the wife, the kids, and he has to find a way to like bring safety to, the family or whatever. Well, he ends up getting separated. So it's like he's looking at his wife, he's looking at the horde, and as a man, he had to make a decision. Now, this may be sensitive for some female viewers out there. Please don't get me wrong. I love women of all walks of life. But when it came to the decision that he had to make, it's like either I could go back for my wife, I could go back for my kids, I could be that guy to be the hero and die honorably, or I could be like, fuck that bitch, I'm going for the boat and I'm gonna go and find help. As regardless if he lost his family, there was sacrifice. Like, he was a man who made a sacrifice at that very moment, and he just looked at her and he just said, I'm sorry, and he kept running. Hey, that was the most touching thing I had ever seen in a movie, bro. Like,
It's heavy, bro.
hey, that's some heavy ass shit. Hey, that's some heavy
he hits the boat, bro,
like,
and like, bro, Yeah.
Hey, like just like how that whole scene played out.
Man, he could have
It's-
been back
Spoiler
on child
alert.
support too. Could have been backed up. They probably not even really together. They were probably like slick slide split up.
It's just at the end, it's like who
Only
can-
for
who
him to
can
find
you,
out later that she
No.
was immune to the virus. Like that's what
Yeah.
that was the really fucked up part because like
Yeah.
she
It's
she
like
felt the same way. So you got to think about how that woman felt.
no, or just like who. It comes to the point like who can you outrun? Like you outrunning everybody, you just like go. You know, like you just running. Like at the end of the point, everybody that's behind you is a zombie. Like there's no.
It's not about outrunning. It's about survival.
There's no way that you would ever be able to
That's
decide
full.
what you would do until that actually happened to you.
That's full blown survival in that situation. Like even friends, like y'all, I would
Oh, wow.
feel if there was a like I actually wrote a book on
I'm
this.
like we were
back
even
when I
getting
was,
cut now, just in scenario.
Like
Not
Like,
we
from
can't even
that-
wait to real life.
like from that movie. Like I actually wrote a book on it. Actually, it was like
Cleve's like, yeah, hey, I'll be honest, bro, y'all.
Like, but to be honest, like if there was a real situation, like a real state of emergency, no government to help, no neighbor can help. You are on your fucking own. It's just you and your immediate family. Anybody else is technically a risk unless you are willing to barter in this world. Like,
Yeah.
Could you imagine like an apocalyptic scenario happen, like say like 10 years down the road, and I'm running down the road with Cleve, hypothetically, just running down the road,
Right.
And I'm running. We're running from say like a zombie horde, and it jogs my memory. You're a liability, and it's like episode 206. I'm like, hey, Cleve 206, and by then Cleve's tripping me and shot me, and I'm
Nah,
like,
no,
oh, zombies are eating me, and Cleve's running down the road.
hell no, nah. Pause. I gotta throw the flag on that play, right? Damn. There will be no sacrifice
Wow.
to be given for.
We go down together then.
This is the thing.
Bruh.
If we running from a horde, I'm not gonna trip you on purpose. Like you can forget about that. Like if I'm running, you running. If I trip, like I'm gonna just use myself in this. If I trip, keep running. You better not look back.
So what happens if I trip you?
Dude.
It's the same thing. Like if you trip, you know what? Like at that point, this is a serious moment. It's like if I go, there's a possibility that one of us can live on. Like if I were to trip, I'm gonna use myself. If I were to trip, you look like Cleve. No, it's like man, Joe, fuck that, keep running. It's like that's gonna be my last words. It's like Joe, fuck that, keep running. It's like don't look back, and then I'm gonna have to accept it at the point because I'm gone. There's no more help that I can get in a zombie apocalypse if I trip and fall and you still have a chance. My dying wish is that you keep fucking running. This is on the air for the YouTube.
Well,
May I? All right.
It's
Scenario.
like, no
Scenario.
remorse. It's a scenario for. This isn't a. I mean, I keep getting a table. Shit.
No, so here's the scenario, bro. Oakdale, Louisiana, zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, I gotta go find Joe and Cleve. So I make my way down Highway 10, all the way to Lisa Lane, and I go, and there's nobody in the main house. I go into the shed, and it's you, and Joe, and Jacoba, and y'all are all zombies, and y'all are arguing about Twisted Metal.
are you and Shauna dead us?
And I'm
we're
like, yo, y'all good? And y'all are like, Twisted Metal. It's like, still valid.
I wish I would have fucking took a clip on it and left it on the sound pad.
Yeah, bro. That's where it's at. Third Coast Zombie Edition. That's
Yeah.
where I want to be.
And giant 10-foot.
Yeah, giant
10-foot
10-foot chickens.
I was gonna say my favorite apocalyptic movie is The Day After Tomorrow, where the oceanic current gets messed up by the extreme heat and the global
Oh, yeah.
warming,
Yeah.
and then it sends on the new ice age onto the planet. Love that shit.
Hell yeah, man! Like, man, there's a couple of them. Like, before I got distracted about zombies, Mad
Yeah.
Max. Yeah, Mad Max is another good.
It was supposed to be like apocalyptic.
Yeah,
That is.
apocalyptic.
Ain't that
Yeah.
when there's like desert because like everything dried up and they hoard the water and there's like bullets and shit.
You ever
I'm
seen
trying to think of the one that they had recently.
You ever seen the
released.
bad-
Not Thunderdome, but
the Bad
something.
Batch?
What's the Bad Batch?
The Bad Batch is like it's a really cool one where they start putting all the prisoners in like one like isolated part of the desert. It's like
Yeah,
so-
Mad Max seems more like, when all the water runs dry.
Yeah.
Cause like in today, like with this global heat wave that we got going on, a lot of rivers are drying up, and
Yeah.
because of that's happening, and then there's still gas as a resource, and people are searching for these sources of water and vegetation, if you will. It's interesting, like kind of how a generalized, like Hollywood has a way of like generalizing a view towards the public, even if we're not directly influenced by it, but like we hear about it through social media in different waves and different things that we stream. In most cases, like 28 days later, where it's biological, or the day after tomorrow, where it's environmental, or Icebreaker, which is also like an environmental movie where, basically like it's during the ice age that was predicted, and then there's still human life trying to like survive and thrive, but they have like their own way of living, and it's all built into this train that's like quartered off into sections, and the rich are like at the front of the train, and then the poor people are at the back of the train, and they're like they have the lowest of the low, eating like basically the only remaining species that was available to eat was cockroaches. So they like molded the cockroaches down to a bar, but nobody knew what they were eating. Like it's pretty dark though. It's like, but they ended up revolting and like going to the front of the train. Train crashes. Spoiler alert. Never came out with a second movie, but
It's great.
but yeah, man, it's just like
It's one of the realest.
Cataclysm is a thing that goes into fantasy, and I also believe into our real lives. It's like we never really predict it, but whenever it happens, what do we do? Are we really prepared for it? Can you guys say that you're prepared for a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, I give it, to be completely fair, I'd give it a good run. I would
Yeah.
take quite a few, am I allowed? Zombie's such a harsh word. No, I'm-
Yeah,
No,
but I mean, like,
zombie
what-
in the sense is like at that point.
it's just interesting, man, because like some people spend their entire lives preparing for something that could never possibly happen, and like dedicate their whole lives to building bunkers and like prepping for some doomsday.
Oakdale
Dang.
has a bunker, and it has one for a while, like at the post office.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anything about that. But
they have a fallout shelter underneath
Yeah.
the post office, like a nuclear fallout shelter.
really,
I want to say they built it in like around the time they built the school.
no shit.
Something like
Like in the
during
30s
the
or the
Cold War.
40s, yeah, Cold War era. So,
So you
that's
think
like 40s,
you can go down
50s.
into it?
I don't know if you can get in. I mean, I'm a legend. They have keys to it, but I don't know.
It
like,
can
the
hold
perce-
up to.
Who do we have to talk to?
Who the
to
fuck? That would. I wonder if we could. Do
we
an
should do an
episode
episode
down
down
there.
there.
There's Homeland Security.
Steve lives right next. Works next door to it. and-
We could do an episode in Steve's
and we'd
vault
have to talk
for
to
sure.
the postmaster.
Postmaster
Oh, his fault.
Post Malone.
Postmaster Post Malone.
We'll just call Post Malone and be like, dude, there's a bunker under our post office. Can you do anything?
That dude bought a $2 million one Lord of the Rings one ring card or some shit recently. It must be nice to have that much money.
Yeah,
I
well,
want to buy this one piece of paper.
and that's just news, man.
Just to say I have it. Let's say, hey, I'm the guy that has the. Say, man, that's what's up. It's in good hands.
Good job. Can you tell us about our bunker underneath our post office?
Yeah, it can. I think it can hold 2,000 people.
It's-
Like, don't quote me on that.
Bruh, we gotta find out more about this. Who knows?
But yeah,
we
there's
gotta
a
do
fallout
some. We gotta
shelter.
do some research about this.
It's
The
pretty
bunker
fucking
underneath
big.
Oakdale.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's not really a secret, but they have it. Like, if you walk into the post office, like,
I mean, it ain't pointed out because I mean you can go down and see it, but what really sets it off, it has the radiation sticker on it, or it used to. I don't know if they still have it on there.
they probably still have it, but before, like, I remember what you're talking about. I was a kid, but back in the day, they used to have, like, a sign, and it would have, like, the radiation symbol, like, if you were to look at any other nuclear power plant. I felt like we covered an episode about a nuclear power plant fallout. And just, like, the
That
different-
is, that I know the name of the episode. That's Elephant Foot.
Yeah, the elephant foot episode.
I would be lying if it's like
I wanted 71.
186, I think.
I don't think it was that, so it was probably a little further back. But we could find out after.
Bro, we're gonna get deep into this. What's underneath Oakdale?
Yeah, we're
gonna find the tunnels underneath Oakdale.
I remember playing under by the railroad tracks growing up and crawling in them ditchway tunnels, and you could crawl all the way
Yeah.
up behind
Yeah,
what's it called, AutoZone, and them drainage things.
yeah.
Fucking huge ass tubes. There's a lot of turtles in there and snakes and stuff though, but
Yeah, bro.
that was weird. Like growing up, like we would just go and just do shit and be gone for hours, and then like my kids are outside for like 45 minutes. I'm like, let me go check on them. Some
Yeah.
more
A
worrisome
lot of things
thing
have
now.
been reformed in Oakdale. Like, a lot of trees have been cut down. A lot of buildings have been rebuilt, modified, changed, and then most of the abandoned buildings have been torn down because I forget when it was passed, but I want to say this was back in like 2018, 2019. But they were just like, they did. I don't know the exact details of it, but they signed a petition to tear down all of the old abandoned houses to kind of like clean up the area and help more with the environment, to plant more trees in the area to kind of contribute to the ongoing problem that's surfacing today with the climate change and whatnot. But for the most part, it's like to clean the town up, to give it a better look so it doesn't look so run down and beat up, because you got like old abandoned houses, burnt down cars, and just things that just look out of place whenever a person is passing through your town. It's like, well, I don't want to live here. It looks pretty dirty.
Trying to
It
bring
looks
up
pretty-
that real estate.
Yeah, it's like
And-
they're trying to bring up the value of the regional area.
And for the kids, bro, like that's what we remember mostly. It's like you remember the parks that are like kind of falling apart and like like we always wanted like a skate park, bro, like in town, like. And I just think about like all these little towns that have just a skate park where people can meet up and like have like that, like kids can all commune in a different way besides just like meeting up and just doing nothing and riding around or just getting fucked up. But it's the same with like having a fucking dope ass basketball court, like you can have a dope ass court, but if nobody's going out there and making sure that the nets are kept and like that the backboard doesn't have holes in it,
Yeah, and the rim
there's-
is intact.
Yeah, there's no point in having that shit, Otherwise, people are gonna come in there and they're just not gonna play ball. They're gonna just talk shit and get in fights and stuff. So it's just like, why have a slab there without the goal intact?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
There's little things like that you can't even wait for the politicians to do that shit. It's just like grown ass men can get out there and do that shit at any of those parks, fix any of those goals.
at any time.
But they instead want to, make their goal in their driveway look better. And that's the real truth, Bubba.
No, that is true. Well,
Yeah, that is true, and that I feel like that issue should be brought up in more areas, not just like when it involves like community values. Like, this should be taken up with other people
Yeah.
to consider the value of like what's to be had to benefit the revenue of the general population. It's like you can only provide a community with only with what they need, and if their community and all
Yeah.
they need is like tobacco, alcohol,
Yeah.
gas, and things of like the common nature where it conditions the mind, it's like there's no room for exploration.
It's
There's
like
no room for ideas.
taxes pay for like the government to come in and fix all this stuff in your town. And but if you don't want to pay taxes, then be prepared to take your own initiative to get out there and fix stuff on your own. You know, that's just literally how it works. So, you know, but that's the one cool thing about being in a small town. It's like not much to work on. It's like your own little village. Do whatever you want, bro, in your own neighborhood. You know, get out there and make a difference.
Would you feel that effort would be contributed more to a community if everybody like say for instance, like there's an effort going on to like get everybody on board with a knowledge or an idea. It's like, okay, Oakdale needs to grow, so we're gonna build a business. We're gonna build our first building with 5 floors. And within this building with 5 floors, I don't know who all listens to this podcast, but if the mayor is listening and he knows people and he can contribute any ideas to these people, but you build a bit like you take downtown, for instance, you got the school, you got all of these empty buildings. Well, why not take these empty buildings and refurbish them into something that the community can use, such as like an internet cafe?
They can't do that because all of the center of Oakdale is bought up already. They sold it all. That's why you see all them empty buildings and empty plazas and empty shops, is because the rent is so high to be in the center of the town. No little business can really make it. That's
So
real
instead
true.
So instead of making a little business, why not terraform these buildings into bigger businesses?
You can't terraform it if, like, the city might want to do something with it, but the people that own it, they ain't going to let nothing happen because it's their property. They're just going. They rather let it sit there, or you can pay what I asked for it. You know, it's
Right.
like limbo. That's why nothing in the. That's why people expand on the outside of Oakdale. They don't dig inside no more because all of it's balled up. They expand on the outside. That's why look at all the businesses. It's all around Oakdale. It's not really in the center.
Yeah, because it's all locally owned, and
There's a few
people
businesses
that-
down there, but like the majority of like the stretches down the main street is owned by select people.
Yeah, and those select people, this is more the message directed to them, is that they need people on board with their colleagues, and instead of being selfish, make sacrifice, you know, because that's the only way that you can really grow. Whenever you have something, instead of like I get the sense in where they keep it, where they see the value in it, and they're trying to build and invest and grow from that. But if there's something that could be better contributed to it to actually help it, like my idea is, like, say for instance, like some outside company comes in, they talk to one of the local people that owns a building, they invest into it, they build an internet cafe, and in this internet cafe, people can pursue jobs with college classes online. They can pursue jobs in things in like IT tech, or AI programming, or any of these jobs, fields, professions, and then they have advertisements for it, in a sense where collectively people can gather and try to work towards that. A lot of that depends on the will of the people. I apologize for the edit. A lot of that depends on the will of the people and what it is that they're willing to work for. And because there's been years of digress in pursuing any job, because nothing is guaranteed to last in a small community, I just feel that a lot of it makes it tougher for people in a small community to kind of like come up out of that, because they never had any opportunity presented to themselves in the beginning. So it goes in the sense of self-worth. How much are you willing to go, like, how far are you willing to go to make your own success? How far are you willing to push that?
Well, that falls into the same thing category too. Is how far are you willing to push to see someone else succeed, but you watch them succeed through your efforts.
To me, it's like if it's a small town, like if you're willing to put in the effort for these kids, then that's where your internet cafe comes into play. It's like that needs to be put on by the school. It's just like, hey, like this school, the school doesn't just exist in these walls. It's like we have all these empty buildings right downtown. Like for instance, Steve's guitar shop, he's doing guitar lessons and whatever lessons, like music lessons. Like there's no reason why it shouldn't be a bigger art department where there's an art store where kids can go right downtown to get their, not only their art supplies, but to where they don't have to go to Walmart to get all these things like school uniforms and shit like that.
It's like used to, like the library was a place where I can go to research anything. Like I could research music, I could research like investments, I could research stocks. Yeah. And just like they used to have programs in place for like kids in school who can like pursue outside programs collectively within their own itinerary or their own service, like their own journey to create their own business.
Like to me, if you have a small enough school in a small enough city, then you don't have to wait for the government to really make the rules in that school. Just go, like, I don't know, maybe I don't have kids or anything like that, so I'm just literally talking out my ass, but it just seems like in a perfect world, all the parents would get together and like have a PTA and like actually be able to world. I realize that it's ridiculous in the end, but what do you do other than, to me, just preach music and art and like communion, just doing things together and supporting each other.
And speaking of supporting each other, make sure that y'all go check out the TCP Horde and Third Coast Podcast on all major streaming platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, 5000ws.thirdcoastpodcast.com, and Third Coast Podcast Productions at youtube.com. And
we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's your host, Cleve. We got my main man, Gator.
What it do?
And we got Charlie Murray.
Oh, yeah.
And we out.
We out.